All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Relentless Trading University. I got a jam-packed video full of information, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite candlestick patterns that I look for every single day in the stock market to create an extra income and to dictate whether I'm buying to the upside or selling to the downside, meaning I'm looking for calls to the upside or I'm looking for puts to the downside. So without further ado, let's get started. It's gonna be a quick video, but these are the patterns that I look for every single day, y'all. If you can identify these patterns in the markets, it's gonna give you a great edge as to where to buy or where to sell in the markets and help you have a better win rate to start off with. So these are my bullish patterns that I look for in the markets. And as you can see here to the left, this is my top favorite pattern, bullish pattern that I look for every single day in the markets. And usually it's the break and retest of the pre-market highs or the pre-market lows. So therefore here you can see we have a break and retest pattern to the upside. You can see a big, huge engulfing candle breaking that white dotted line, which is resistance, now turned support. We have a huge green engulfing, and then we have 3 red candles, which is considered the pullback. This is the pullback that I look for to retest that pre-market high or a specific resistance level, now turning support. And so as soon as we tap in, this is where we enter position and we take off. So if we go down here, I'm showing you guys an actual chart. This is meta chart actually, where it's trending to the downside. We can see the downtrend here to the left, right? Downtrend here to the left. And we're going down to finally finding a nice support level and taking off, right? So here we have a massive green engulfing candle breaking resistance, breaking that lower high, and now pulling back to retest that lower high resistance level, now turns support. That is where we enter our position, and you can see that we finally take off from that spot. So if we can see the downtrend and have a massive engulfing, breaking that resistance zone to now turning into support, we wait for that pullback. We don't want to buy these tops. We want to wait for the pullback. And that's the hardest part about trading. The hardest part about trading is the patience to wait for these setups to present themselves and to set up. We tend to rush things sometimes, and we tend to buy these tops thinking that it can continue going higher from this rip. But in our reality, the best way to go about things is to be patient and wait for these setups to happen, to retest that support zone, which previously was resistance, and entering that position at that position. You can see we finally take off to the upside after that retest of support or resistance. And here's a line chart at the bottom. As you can see, we have a nice rip to the upside. We come back down to retest, and this is where we enter position and we take off. That strategy, the break and retest, is my favorite. I really just mainly look for that. Although I'm going to show you guys two more patterns that I also look for, but this break and retest is the one I usually go for every single day. And so here in the middle, we have the morning star bullish pattern. So when you have a downtrend, right, we have a bearish trend going to the downside. As you can see here on this chart, we have a bearish trend creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. When you finally reach a level of support, you will find different patterns like this one here called the morning star. The morning star, it's not going to be perfect every single time, but if you can identify it in the chart, it's going to give you a great edge to enter that position. Therefore, here we can see that the morning star is considered of 3 candles. We have a red candle here to the downside, in the middle. This is called a doji, more like an indecision, whether they don't know if we're going to be buying or selling, but we don't buy at that doji. At least I'd like to wait for the next candle to show me where we're actually going to head to. So I wait for the next candle and we can see a nice green candle to the upside. That for me is my indication that we are now reversing and going up to an uptrend instead of a downtrend. The downtrend has been broken and we are going to the upside. So you can see the downtrend here on this chart. We finally reach a level of support at this area. We get that doji right there and we have a massive green candle to the upside. This right here is the morning star pattern right there. This is the morning star pattern, and usually I like to buy after the candle closes. So technically I would buy here and my stop loss would be below this red line, which is the support, and then profit, I mean, you can target the highs of that chart. So that's a great risk to reward. Perfect pattern. Once it has found a support level, you see the morning star formation, the morning star pattern, you enter position and ride that up. Really great pattern to look for and very useful. If you can identify these patterns, you can have a greater edge on your calls to the upside, to now trending and giving us a bullish trend back to the upside, breaking the bearish trend. Now the last bullish pattern is the bullish engulfing candle, the bullish engulfing pattern. Here we have a massive green candle. We have a massive green candle that overtakes the red candle. It eats it up. It is greater than the previous candle. That is an engulfing bullish candle. So here on the chart, we have a downtrend, and then you can see this massive green candle here to the right of the chart. You can see that this is a green bullish engulfing candle eating up the previous red candle, and that is where we buy our position to the upside, meaning we're looking for calls. So again, we wait for that candle closure and we buy here, and now our stop loss is below these lows. All right, so the bullish engulfing candle is going to let us know that buyers are coming in. Everyone is starting to load up on these candles, on this position, and therefore we are getting in as well, having our stop loss right below that support level and riding the trend back up. And as you can see a little higher up here to the right, we have another morning star formation and also a break and retest of that resistance level here. That's the break and retest, and it takes off. So you can see that the initiating candle is here of the bullish engulfing, rip to the upside, breaks resistance, retest, now turns support, gives us a morning star formation, and it takes off to the upside. So these are the three most important patterns that I look for to buy calls to the upside. The break and retest, which is the rising 3 method, the morning star here in the middle, and the bullish engulfing to the right. These 3 patterns are my favorite, most important patterns that I look for every single day in the markets in order to have a great edge to the position that I'm gonna be getting into to the upside. Now, on the next slide here, now the bearish patterns, it's literally the same thing, just now reversed. So if you can identify the bullish pattern to the upside, you can also identify the bearish pattern to the downside. Here to the left, we have the break and retest to the downside. We have a red engulfing candle, 3 candles to the upside to retest that pre-market low, and then we have a massive rip to the downside. So here's a break and retest and down to the downside. So here to the left, we have the chart pattern creating lower lows, higher lows, lower lows. And on that higher low, we retest that resistance level, we fell, and we go to the downside. And here's a line pattern of how that looks like to that chart to the chart above, sorry. So we have a lower low, higher low, lower low. We break support. We come to retest support, and that is where we enter our position to the downside. Here in the middle, we have the evening star, which is the opposite of the morning star. We have 3 candlesticks that give us that pattern, and it's a green candle to the upside, a red doji, which is the indecision, and then a red candle to the downside, creating that evening star formation. As you can see here, we have a downtrend. We tend to come back up, but it gives us a evening star pattern, and that is where we enter position to the downside. As soon as this candle closes here in this area, we enter position, and our stop loss is here above this level right here. So we enter position on the next candle and we write it down. So as you can see here on the line chart, we have a downtrend. We come back up. This is our retest of that resistance level, creating that evening star. We enter position and write it down. Here to the right, now we have the bearish engulfing, just like the one that is bullish. It was the bullish engulfing. Well, now this is the bearish engulfing. The bearish engulfing is a red candle eating up the previous candle, and it's greater than the previous candle. So we have a trend to the upside, right? Higher highs and higher lows. We get to an area of resistance, which is this whole purple zone. We get an area of resistance, and then we have a massive red candle to the downside that is now shifting structure and making the uptrend turn bearish. So we have a bullish trend to the upside. The red bearish engulfing candle shifts the structure, and now we are creating a bearish downtrend to the downside. So as you can see, after we get that candle close, we come back to retest and we just continue to dip to the downside. So here on the line chart, we have an uptrend, right? Then we get the bearish engulfing to the downside, and we are now creating a bearish trend after that bearish engulfing candle. Gives us the indication that we are now shifting structure to the downside, and we're looking for puts or we're looking for sells. So little recap on these patterns. The bullish engulfing, we are looking for break and retest. We are looking for a 3 candle pattern creating the morning star formation to the upside. And then we have the bullish engulfing, that this green candle is greater than the candle right before it. So we are now creating an uptrend with these 3 formations, with these 3 patterns. And with our bearish patterns, we are looking for a break and retest of resistance to the downside and looking for that downtrend, that shift the structure to the downside. So here we have a break and retest. In the middle, we have the evening star, which is giving us an indication that we are going and shifting structure to the downside. And then we have the bearish engulfing. The bearish engulfing, the red candle that eats up the candle right before it and is greater than it. So if you can identify these 3 candles, guys, this is going to give you a great edge to make a decision whether you want to buy calls to the upside or buy puts to the downside. Man, I can't stress it enough. These patterns, if you can identify them, it's going to be great. I make money in the stock market looking for these patterns every single day. And I mean, it's just been great. Identifying these, the more I spend time in the market, the better I get to see. I have a visual of what these patterns look like, and when they present themselves, I'm going in. And most of the time, majority of the time, we get a massive rip to the upside or a massive dump to the downside. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Learn to identify these trends, learn to identify these patterns, and you're gonna have a great edge in the market. So that is it for tonight, guys. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope you guys can learn to identify these patterns and pick up that edge to make great decisions in the stock market, to have a greater edge for yourself. And let's keep it pushing. You know what I mean? This is really, it's really a life-changing skill that you can learn. And that's what the wealthy do. The wealthy are doing this every single day. The big institutions, the banks, all of them are doing this every single day. And why can't we do it, right? So I hope you guys have a great night. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment on the comment section. But please like and subscribe, man. It would really help. I would really appreciate that. And let's get it, man. It's grind mode, Relentless Trading University. You know what it is.